Hello, welcome to Andertons TV. My name is Jet Duxbury, he's the Maltese Falcon. That's Aaron, and this is...
Matt.
Matt, thanks so much for being here. We just filmed a video on the OP1 field.
We did.
And I think I can speak for everyone, we had a really good time. You've just unsheathed this little bit of wonderment. What is it we're going to be talking about today?
So this is the Teenage Engineering TX-6. It's a highly portable, possibly one of the smallest mixers out there that you can get.
Look at that next to my hand.
Yeah.
I can't express to you how shocked I was at how small it is. It's unbelievable. We're going to fist pump and talk about it.
Okay.
Right, we got it. TX-6. What's the pitch on it?
So it's a 12-channel mixer. It's like a line mixer for all your gadgets. Bits like TE stuff, but not limited to that, you know. So you've got 6 channels with 6 faders. Each of them are stereo, but they're all switchable between stereo, mono, now mono balanced as well. So if you have any like line level mono stuff, it can go in there. And also split. So if you're really strapped for channels, you can have the left and the right pan centrally, but then they share a fader. But then a lot of stuff like the OP1 and other bits have their own volume control, so you kind of just can work with it that way. So you can really,
have 12
you can have
mono sources.
Yeah, like imagine basically all the pocket operators all plugged into that all at once, if you wanted to. Why not?
What's mad is it's smaller than a pocket operator.
Yeah, it's a similar sort of footprint. I don't know if you've got one.
I've got one.
This
is
we'll
shocking.
Do one
and even if you buy Andertons or anywhere that stocks these, whatever you feel about this product up to this point, just go look at it, because I've never seen anything so comically but also beautifully small. And look at the little pouch it came in. Keep talking about it whilst I go full QVC.
So, whilst we've got the 6 channels here, there's 3 encoders for each of those channels. They do have different functions, but their primary is like a high, mid and low frequency. But you can just kind of go into this menu here and go to the pots menu. You can have custom setup for the whole thing. So we'll go through all the different effects that are in there in a sec. You can have custom for the whole mixer, you can have custom per track, and then there's also the synth mode. Again, we'll get to all of that, but yeah, there is some built-in sounds that you can use in there. So, as well as having the live inputs, it's also got like a synth mode. So if you're strapped for a drum machine, for example, you've got kick drums, snare, all kinds of stuff in there. Which we could start with that, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know anything about this because
okay.
I looked at it and just didn't, I was too obsessed with this, in all honesty, yeah.
Okay.
So, but already just getting it out of the pouch, I'm excited.
It's a cool bit of kit. Let's go for playing a sequence here. So already we're talking about why it's not a mixer, right? Because we've just got...
What on earth?
So you've got all kinds
Talk us through it, Matt. This is magic.
All kinds of weird stuff going on here. So, as well as having those inputs, the controls, the faders, and then you've got the little channel mutes and solos down here, which can switch between like individual mutes and like exclusive mutes and stuff like that. You've also got a load of built-in effects. So for each of these different channels we've got going on, I mean, it's probably easiest to talk about these ones first, the master effects. So you've got 2 momentary effects, which you can apply to all of the channels as they're going, or with this one, you can choose which channel it's going to, so that the effects level. So if you've got a reverb or a delay, you can switch up how much of each of those channels you want to go to that. And it's instantly like on and off. With this one, there's a few other ones in there. So filter, bit crusher, distortion, tremolo, a freeze effect, which was that kind of strange granular, grabs a little slice of sound and keeps throwing it around. And again, with this one, you can basically choose whether you want one of the channels to go to that or all of the channels to go to that.
Should we have a flick through? We've got this little sample here. Should we have a listen to them and maybe we'll put them back to back?
Yeah, sure. In fact, that would probably be a quite good way to go through all the stuff on the channel. So if we go back here. So the effects are switched off. Just for focus, we'll say, right, that's going in channel 1.
Okay.
So you got your sound coming in there. So immediately you've got the track menu. So you've got per track, you've got a low pass, high pass filter, which you can control as you go, so as you're playing it. So that's just kind of, as you're playing along, you can use that to kind of sculpt the sound to fit in between the EQ as well, just a general high pass, low pass. You've got the compressor, which is just like a simple one-off compressor.
Drums,
yeah. So if I leave it at 0 to begin with.
Just playing with my new OP1 field. Let's go for Yamalog. What was the other good ones that we had? Like? Apes Are Us. Come on, Apes Are Us. Got to be that. And I'll get a sequence up. Shigging. And I'm going to go. Finger. Hey.
You can hear it's really pulling in the transients there. So again, that's per channel. So you've already got your EQ, just to summarize again, you've got your filter, you've got your compressor, you've got your line level gain. So this can do up to, I think it's 40 decibels of line level gain. Very, very clean as well. So whereas some other mixers may have more, this is perfectly sufficient for your groove boxes, for OP1, pocket operators, just anything.
Balancing things on the way in,
yeah. Absolutely. And then below these, you do have your little VU meters. These can be switched pre or post. So if you're jamming and bringing stuff in and out, you can cue it with the headphone out down here, which again has its own mix. So you have your main mix from the output, and then you have your cue mix to your headphones, which is whatever balance you set, which, yeah, if we do that, it would be, from here, you would basically be looking at that. Oh, there's also the ability with the headset to have a mic straight in. So if you're performing with all your groove boxes, you can add a little vocal to that. If you've got the M1 headset that you do, or something similar with the mic built in, which you can add effects to. It has a ducker. There's a lot of different things it can do.
I had no idea, did it, all this?
So with that, yeah, you can see you've got the mic gain, gate, duck, and then the effects that you can apply, which is delay or reverb. So we go back to cue from there. You would basically then set your level per.
Yeah.
And you can
either. So the queuing's handy. I don't, as I understand, for DJ, like bringing in, but even in live modular performance for prepping something beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're queuing it, you're listening to it before it goes out front.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so let's say, as an example, you just had two OPZs, which you could, be running alongside each other. And mentioning DJ, it does have a DJ mode as well. So when you go through to the DJ mode here, it sets track 1 as your crossfader, and then 5 and 6 are your 2 tracks or groove boxes that you're running together. So it switches in and out of that. So you've got like a slow fade or a fast fade on that. But so yeah, this could be like a little mobile DJ interface.
In that?
Yeah.
In that little thing.
And then again, adding to when I said interface, it is actually a USB interface as well. So all the field range have got USB-C on now. There's the OP1 used to have like micro B or something, now it has C. So all of the units, and OPZ as well has C, so they're all interconnectable. When you hook this up to a computer, you can get it as a full 12-channel in or 12-channel out interface, or you can just do 2-channel. So you're able to kind of mix some stuff out of Ableton, or you could mix all your groove boxes into, it could be any DAW, obviously, but yeah, you can record through that as your interface, essentially. Battery powered.
So 12 discrete tracks will show up in your DAW.
That's right, yeah.
Incredible.
And then you can get the monitor back, so when you're listening back to what you've just recorded, it's all there in a 2-channel.
Madness.
Yeah, and there's a lot more as well. So the field range, they all have Bluetooth connectivity, mainly for sort of like MIDI and sync. So these two can speak to each other wirelessly.
Does this do Bluetooth MIDI?
Yes. Yeah.
Insane. I love that.
So they're becoming everything's becoming ever more wireless, but there are some connections that are quite important. But yeah, both of these have Bluetooth that allow you to sync with other devices, and basically, so where we had the drums on here, you had that little note playing, you can actually control that pitch-wise.
Yeah.
Or externally sequence it if you prefer. It's quite a flexible little thing, to summarise that really.
I think you're doing very well.
Okay. Because there is a lot to go over. There's a tuner
I
on
would have
there.
missed all of this. A tuner?
Yeah, tuner for each channel, if you,
But, analog synths, man.
Yeah.
Especially in heat at gigs.
Absolutely.
They wander.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can we demo these effects? So we've done
go for it.
We went through the channels. Low pass, high pass, EQ, compression, madness with all the other stuff you spoke about. But I'd love to just hear these effects back because they, in a small device, these are the two largest buttons.
Yeah.
So in my little pygmy brain, I'm thinking they're important.
Well, let's go into that then. So on the first one, we mainly have like the time-based effects. So we've got on here a reverb. We can also turn that level up if we want to, give it a bit more. So this is the delay right now. It's a little longer delay line. We've got some interesting ones, warp and mash as well, which do a little...
And syncing.
Yes.
As an OP1, the delays in the OP1 don't have a clocked division.
That's right.
So that's a handy little thing.
So currently, if you're plugged in with USB, you can sync the two together, which is, at this point, this doesn't do Bluetooth clock just yet, but it will do eventually. But with the two plugged together with USB-C, you can set the tempo on either and then have the other follow. So right now, I mean, it's maybe with free playing, it doesn't matter so much, but yeah, you can set tempo on either. So again, with all devices,
companion, I can
exactly,
see it.
Exactly.
I see it. Dig it.
It's just the warp
so
is like a bit of a...
You can latch it or...
With these ones, you latch these on or off.
But the idea, so like, just to I could have it just on a specific channel or on the master.
Yeah. So, well, the way to imagine it is...
Like, everything seems so customizable, right? So what I'm getting is already, if you're... the preparation, a lot of this seems to be in the preparation. If you had a set to do, you could be so fastidious and have everything planned, or your crossfades, everything.
And you can save them as scenes onto here as well. So you can have a couple of slots to save those settings per track if you really wanted to. I'd be more tempted to save it per set that I'm doing if there's like a different mood for each one or a different set of groove boxes or instruments that you want to use. Having it set so that when you load it, it's going to load for that particular setup that you've got going on. Wow. If that makes sense.
I can't... it's odd. Again, we spoke about in the OP1 field video. I was there watching all the super booth stuff, and the only bit I've seen about this, again, is people kind of balking it, the price of it, and also not getting it. But will you explain it to me there? I don't know what else I could buy that does all that stuff in one unit, let alone like Polly Pocket sized. I mean, smaller than Polly Pocket or Mighty Max if you're as old. This is crazy. And what's odd is the screen. I'm here and you're changing it. I'm going, I can see it.
Yeah.
I get a bit shocked by these small screens on things now where I can totally understand someone going, oh, this day and age I'm paying this for this bigger screen. But I see everything you're doing. And I can understand if it was a live mix it in a traditional sense, like I've got a wedding band or like Falcon's been doing some monitor mixing at the moment. Yeah, this ain't that mixer. Yeah. But if you've got more than or even it's two sources there with the DJ mode and the effects, the filtering, even on synths that like the Udio Super 6, I love it. But it has a fixed high pass filter. Yeah. This solves it. Because I can just, on that channel, have that sort.
It's really been thought out and built to complement everything that you sort of tie into it. It does use the mini jacks, but, you know, you just need the right cable and the quality is just the same. Yeah, it is. It really honestly is.
It's so weird that.
Yeah.
I understand it in a, again, I used to have it with, like on the road, people obsessed with XLR connections and these things. But let's just get real and enjoy the freedom of not having to lug around those cables.
Yeah.
And no one can hear the difference out there. Battery, just to state the bleeding obvious, we're running off batteries, right?
We are, yeah.
And did you know how long it lasts for?
Oh, the hard questions.
That's right.
I can't remember.
Longer than a set.
Yeah.
Because this lasts for a day, so I'm sure...
I mean, I charged this a few days ago and we're still using it now.
I haven't actually touched it yet. A little bit of leatherette on the bottom.
It's
What a little...
genuine leather on the
Is
back.
it genuine?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. I didn't mean to
No.
do
That's all right. Yeah, it provides a little bit of grip and it kind of feels nicer in the hand if you're holding it.
Incredible to... You know, why wouldn't you want this? This is the future, man. 12 channels of mono synths. Whoa. Sorry, let's keep going with the effects. I got excited.
So where were we? We were on delays.
Yeah, we were warping.
So we could just do mash delay, which is, again, you can hear it's just kind of unstable, kind of like pitching, modulating. And then just reiterating again that when we're working on that, we can change the level per track. So this is the one which is more like send, really.
Yes.
So we'll go to reverb here.
Yeah.
So we got different sizes of reverb, so small. And we got some...
Do that on some drums.
All the way up to drone, so if you hit something now. The light one as well, which is a bit more pingy.
I mean, talk about... What's mad is sat here for the last 40 minutes with you, is that if I was like, oh, shit, I want to get an OP1 field, I don't know, see how you wouldn't want both. Madly in my brain, I'm there going, sell everything, Jack. Because I want... I'm there going, oh, wow, I've got an extra reverb, and then I'm like, with this, I get all these reverbs.
Well, it's certainly part as well. Don't sell everything just yet.
They're clever bastards who's teenage engineering.
So what else we got? We've got chorus as well.
Oh.
So anything from really gross wobbly goodness to something a bit more subtle.
I kind of want this in here, but then I see its use here divvied out in the sends as well. I can see why it's not all just thrown in here.
Yeah, and I mean with these as well, they are meant to be more like performance-based effects. So you could record your set as you're going and add these in as you go.
Drop in a reverb on your vocal with your little headset. Oh my God. Keep going, keep going.
Okay, so I think those were the three that are on there.
Yeah.
And then on this one, it's more the kind of punch-in style of effect, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna get some drums up.
So when we look at it, so we've got, let's start with the tape stop. Tape stops.
That's mad. It's doing it with audio.
Yep. And then it's got this pong which kind of grabs a little bit. So those ones are momentary. And again, we've got it selected across all tracks, but we could just have it on, let's say if you had it on the drum machine, everything else is still running in time.
You could become a master at this. You know, like I can imagine there's going to be guys in the next year. This is a whole new instrument.
It's a proper performance mixer, you know.
And it's got that instrument in it as well. Like
yeah, so you can use that at the same time. Again, things start to share faders like we were talking about with the 12 channels. Really, it's sort of 6 stereo, and then things start to, you know, share faders. But you can have a channel or two with like a hi-hat or a snare or something running at the same time that you've got other things going along with it, you know. So other effects on here, just quickly, you've got the cutoff, like master cutoff filter, which we've got to switch on. There we go. So that's got resonance and a cutoff. We have got the bit crusher, which goes all the way from kind of shaping to and then we've got drive, which again can be quite sort of filtered as well. Really nasty. And then we've got tremolo as well, which again sort of relies on, there we go. But that will run in time with your synced devices. So yeah, you can add that in as a quick in and out. And then freeze, which is that strange kind of like, it grabs a little.
And then you can repitch it. Madness.
So again, for kind of like a outro or something to kind of just break it all down slightly, you've got the immediacy of that just on a button. And we already did tape, so yeah. A few master effects to kind of work
when
with.
You said like MIDI, is any of this MIDIable?
Yes. All of it's MIDIable. Every button.
Then I get it.
So
if anyone's stressing, going, how can I access all that stuff? If you've got a MIDI controller.
Both ways. So these can all be mapped to whatever else you have it hooked up to, and equally you can use anything else to control any of the parameters on here.
Unbelievable.
And that's I think that's new with the update, which I don't know when this is going out, but it came yesterday, so I guess it'll be a few weeks down the line. So yeah, it was a neat little update. There's one more thing that it does now, which again this update brought in, which is quite exciting, which is the ability, and it's something that a lot of people ask for. So you've got this tiny pocket mixer, battery powered, you can plug all this stuff into it. But I think people quite like the idea when they're jamming with like a load of different groove boxes and instruments that they can then record what they're doing, just without the computer there. So if you pop in a USB-C flash drive or A with the adapter, you can record the 2-channel out of your performance, and then you've just got it there on a stick ready to go into the computer. Just to kind of get your ideas down, or if you've got a jam that you've had with people or a stream that you're doing, you just literally just plug it off there and away you go.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
I went to this modular, they're called the Mod Cafe in Aldershot.
Right.
Amazing community, and they got loads of new stuff coming out. And because I was trying to learn a bit more, get in the mindset. But that could do, they have a jam where they run time code round the room.
Yeah.
And everyone is jamming together. That can do all of you guys.
So this as well, adding to that. So the inputs are aligned. So when it comes to like raw modular signal, it's a bit too hot, but you can easily attenuate that down. And most people have some way of line out for modular levels, and that will then happily go into your mixer. But there is also a sync clock that you can send out of the aux. So we haven't even talked about the aux out. You know, primarily you might use it for an external effects unit like a reverb pedal or
parallel processing.
So you can do all that with the aux output, and you do that on, again, like send level, and then return it to one of the channels in here. It doesn't have a dedicated return, but you know, on the 6th channel it might be all right. But yeah, with the clock output you can sync pocket operators, of course, because they use that like 8th note repeating clock. But you can do 8th note or 16th note, and you can plug that out to like modular, multiply that out, and you could clock everything like CV clock from that.
Yeah,
so it runs in time with all the effects and delays.
They could just buy this, all plug into it, all be in sync, and record it all.
With enough cables, yeah.
And then MIDI, if someone had a big old MIDI thing, you could all just like have it all on a fader, all the effects. And
yeah, I mean, like a way to look at it as well is if you, as well as the faders that do the main output.
It, yeah, I think you could plan it all very.
Yeah, absolutely. And with an external controller, if you do use one, you know, you might say, well, everything's on there. It's like, yeah, but you can break out all the additional effect sends, aux sends, Q mixes too.
Yeah. Even in the studio, having all of those as effects.
Yeah.
And the filter. Oh, mother, the mother reverb. I need to go back out gigging and make some money so I can buy this. Very cool. And let us know in the comments what you think. We can take it. Well, I can anyway. I always say, yeah, if it freaks you out how expensive it is, that's totally cool. Like loads of things freak people out, but I think when you add up, I didn't know it did all that. When you add that all up, but also Andertons, we're a shop, so come in and touch it. We'll have these in stock. Get the guys to come out and live with it, because I could totally, you know, some people they write it off. I can't. I've got big fingers. I can't use it.
There's no way really.
I've saw comments of people there,
getting
going
around that fact that it is.
I was a butcher. Oh, I can't use this, and you're like, okay, well, get your. Okay, that's totally understandable. But then you might have a MIDI controller with bigger knobs on that you can just plug in.
Because it doesn't lose any value that way, because it still does all the things that we've talked about, just with a little bit
audio
more.
interface. Even there's loads of things that you pointed out that I'm like, it's kind of worth it for that. Let alone that when we're done. Oh my god! I get to put it in this little thing. I'm gonna even turn it off.
No way it goes. Okay.
I'm gonna get a bit of lunch. Wait, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it, brother. We're off to Slim Chickens, where they serve the food with robots. But again, if you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing. If you don't, let us know. We try to learn from the hate. The fountain there. Thanks, Aaron. Cheers, man. What amazing products. And I hope to see you soon, mate.
Cool.
Bye.